After those old way down front. He's been asking. He thought he was going to be spaghetti. He's not cooking. And I said, sure.
I believe she.
He said,
I told you don't let anybody in here. Get them out. I told you that.
you gotta love
Come
Randy.
on, Randy, it's just Logan.
They were here when I was on the call.
They were here when you was on the clock. Right.
It's my fault.
Right. I told Logan he was responsible to make sure nobody came in here.
Well, what's new? No. So is there any plan? How much
There you go. Yes. All right. But I don't, I still have.
Like kids are still want to be involved. Go to every other thing.
We have 6:30?
No, not yet.
Do you want me to shut the kitchen door? Amy sometimes.
If they want to do it, they can do it.
I hope I didn't miss anything too hard, but the stuff, I'm like.
Well, the restraint was pretty much off. We
Yep.
Yeah?
Are we okay with that?
Yeah, we Carl, you might as well stand up, because we're gonna stand up.
That's what I'm doing. That's what I'm doing.
For the pledge of
Head
allegiance.
department, guys.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Oh. All right. You did? Audience introductions. I'll start with Jay in the back.
Jay's not here.
Jay's here.
Jay Nicholson, bus driver.
Bishop, class advisor, 2026,
Can't hear you at
Whatever
all.
she said.
I know who you are.
My name is Phoenix Lee. I'm class president for the senior and I'm a student here at RSU.
Thank you.
Angela Garner, resident. Shannon Mingo.
Shannon, what was your last name?
Mingo.
Mingo.
Thank you.
Paul Rico, is in the right.
Thank you. Welcome aboard. Oh, Mary, I'm sorry I blew you off.
It's all right. Aaron Daly, RSU 56 business manager.
Thank you, Mary. Okay, there are some adjustments to the agenda. Could I get a motion, please?
So moved.
And a second? Second. Comments or questions? Seeing none, all those in favor? Thank you. Consideration of the minutes of the December 9th. Oh, sorry, Carl, you had your hand up.
No,
for-
I'm just trying to get this thing up on the agenda.
All right, you got it up?
Oh, yes.
Okay. Give you time. You have trouble with your computer.
It said I had to be plugged in.
Oh dear. All right. The minutes of the December 9, 2025 board meeting. Could I have a motion, please?
So moved.
And a second.
Second.
Comments, questions, revisions? Seeing none, all those in favor? Okay, I think everybody had their hand up, so I don't.
Yeah.
Public comment. This is the time the public can make a comment. Come up to the podium.
You're an actual agenda item.
You're on agenda, Shannon, so you're all right. All right. Communications.
There are no new communications.
Good. Old business? No old business? All right, new business. Request to erect a memorial. And Shannon and
I'm gonna do the best I can.
all right.
I'm gonna read the letter I sent to him.
Gotta speak up.
My name is Shannon Mingo. And I'm the mother of Morgan Doobie. Morgan passed away tragically on June 22nd, 2025. Her family and I would like to do something special in honor of her and for the people that meant so much to her. We would like to place a reflection bench in her memory on the grounds of T.W. Kelly Dairy Middle School, where she was an ed tech for over 5 years. This bench could serve many purposes for both students and staff. This could be a place where students take a needed break, staff have lunch, or just a place to think in solitude. Morgan was born to be an educator. Her ability to connect with the students where they were at was remarkable. She just understood them. She poured her heart and soul into her students. The impact that she had on these students and students she did not even have in class was realized when many of them attended her funeral and in messages they sent to her Facebook, posthumously talking about how much she will be missed and how she impacted them.
We do have two letters that two students had written in regards to this. One was from Madison Bradeen, and she had said, Ms. Doogie was loved by so many people. I was one of those people. To say I knew Ms. Doogie is something really special. Ms. Doogie was a worker at the middle school when I was a student. I had always seen Ms. Doogie in the hallways, but never thought I would become close with her. My 8th grade year, she was an ed tech for my science class. That class is when I really got to know her. She had her own table that a bunch of us would sit at after a few classes. We became really close. We liked to joke around a lot of the times and be serious at some points, but a lot of the times it was joking. Ms. Doogie was someone I knew I could trust with just about anything. She was someone who would go out of their way to help out anyone, no matter the situation. There was never a time where she wasn't in a good mood. She was always so happy and willing to do anything for anyone. Ms. Doogie was someone special. She was a light that brought so much joy, love, kindness, and so many other things. Her kindness was such a good vibe to be around. She was someone so many people looked up to, especially students. She deserves so much recognition, and it would be a great way to remember her. And then Colton Bradeen also wrote a letter. Ms. Doogie helped me pass middle school, and not only did she do that, but she also put up with me. Not many teachers are willing to help me as much as she did. No matter what situation she was in, she would always find time for me. No matter it being after school or during a class that she had, she was always there to help. She wasn't just any teacher. She was someone who I could trust, talk to about anything, joke around with. Our bond wasn't just a teacher-student bond. It was a special one that not many students and teachers have. This is a bond that would last a lifetime. She was the type of person to cheer you up and make you smile no matter what situation. She was always a bright person. Just seeing her around made my day. She was a person you would never get bored of, never get annoyed with, and she was always willing to defend no matter what. Ms. Doogie deserves all the recognition in the world, and I think she deserves this bench. So my husband Silver and I are cousins to Shannon, but to Morgan, we were aunt and uncle. So we had that close bond with her. And so for him, he really wanted to do something in her honor and to memorialize her. So he's actually going to run a marathon for her to raise money for this bench, should it be accepted. He really, that was her place. The middle school was her place. She was the happiest there.
Thank you. So I do know we have a procedure that you have.
Yep, so I actually sent it to Shannon when she was asking me about this. So what happens is, it comes to the board makes the determination whether they accept the memorial to be on school grounds, and then obviously there's wording in the procedure, like if there's required upkeep and that sort of stuff. But also, I would just be clear that should you decide that this is what you want to do, then obviously then Kenny and the head custodian, Bob Robbins, up there will determine where it's best situated so that they doesn't impact like plowing and mowing and all of that stuff. So there would be some behind the work once the bench was ready.
Any of Brad?
We're just talking about a bench, talking about landscaping and all that.
Just a bench. My understanding is that there is a memorial tree and a stone in memorial of Lucas Dolph to the right of the entrance, and somewhere in that area.
That's what your hope is.
That's what my hope is, yeah.
Carl?
I think it's a great idea. I'm all in favor of it.
Natalie?
I would say condolences, guys. I didn't have the pleasure of knowing Morgan, but I certainly heard a lot of things after her passing, all positive, related to her work at the school and her impact on students. So I would definitely be in favor of this.
Can we get a motion?
Yeah. Motion for what? To allow the bench to be placed at the middle school with Kenny's and who?
Bob Robbins is the head custodian, so.
I don't know that one.
You don't know Bobby Robbins? So he's our head custodian up there.
Well,
I would like them to be part of the placement so that we don't have issues working.
Well, you don't want it ran over by
Can
a
you clarify that even if, because my assumption is probably we're going to allow this, but Pam said they're going to choose placement, so is there a possibility that it may not be placed out front?
We will work really hard to have it in a prominent position, obviously. I can't imagine why it wouldn't be able to be placed out front, but again, I would like Kenny and Bob to be involved in it because they know the drainage situations, they know where they snow blow, they know where they, exits and all of that stuff. So I would want them involved with placement, that's all.
They make a motion to approve.
Second? Rachel?
Question.
Yeah, we
So,
can.
I know the last time that we talked to you, you said you had to do some policy about the upkeep and all that, that's already been done.
So it's not a policy, it's just procedure because the board doesn't have a policy around this and the administrators and I worked up a procedure so if people ask, obviously there's a form that they fill out which you've seen because I forwarded it to you all and then it comes here and then.
I'm saying about upkeep, like if something needs to happen to it and it needs repair or all of that they need.
So in this procedure, it's clear that if it falls into disrepair, then you would have the authority to remove it, like, unless the family wanted to come
The
in
name of this, right?
and update.
Yeah, just in case,
Any other questions?
So is it the responsibility of the people that are requesting it to take care of it, whatever needs to be done at any point in time and not fall onto the custodians or the school?
Correct. The upkeep of the bench itself, or whatever memorial that comes to you, says very clearly in the procedure that, if it's monetary cost of upkeep, then that would come back to the group bringing it forward.
Actually, we should ask, is there a size constraint for this memorial? And we're talking about a bench here.
Yeah, I was thinking like a 6-foot marble or granite so that it can't be taken, carted off
Meaning,
easily. But yeah, like I'm thinking, 6 feet, so like a couple people could sit out there, like if a student needs to go outside with their ed tech or whatever and just take a breather, that there'd be space for them to sit kind of.
If you approve it, I would be emailing Shannon and just being like, can we come in and meet with Kenny, talk about size placement before it's ordered and created so that we don't end up with a 20-foot bench and a 5-foot section, We definitely work together.
Bruce?
Well, she mentioned some of the questions I was going to ask about what type of bench you were talking about. Other thing I would like to see is that our grounds crew would put some type of fixation so it does not get moved.
Well, it doesn't
for some reason.
tip or,
Pardon me?
so it doesn't tip or degrade either.
Correct.
Put a bench like that, it's all well and good, but the ground's going to undermine eventually.
That's my concern, is that a weight of something like that, if someone was to be hustling around with it and decide to sit on the back side of it and it tips over, that's a concern. So one thing I'd want to know up front is that this bench is going to be fixated to the ground so it cannot be moved nor tampered with or tip over. If that can be approved, then that's part of my stipulation of agreeing to it.
Yeah, again, I would have Shannon and her family work with Kenny about like, what are we looking at? Where is it going to go? What do we need to make sure it's secure? Like, I agree with you. We want to make sure it's safe and we also want to make sure it's appropriate for the space.
Any consolation, last summer I was building a granite wall, and I picked up a piece that was 1 foot by 8 inches by 18 inches, and I ripped my shoulder. And I did not pick it up. I did not pick it up.
A granite bench is going to be difficult to.
Oh, you tried to pick it
I
up?
tried to pick it up and I felt this one just tear.
So, okay, I think
We've got a
we
motion and second.
Second, and I think we've had, all those in favor? Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for coming. Okay. Senior class request for Project Grad. Come on up.
Good evening. We are here on behalf of the class of 2026 to discuss what we would like to do with our Project Grad. We are not your typical class that wants to spend our money on corporate events or something not everyone will enjoy. So we are here to ask permission to pursue our want to rent an Airbnb on a pond. We have been invited to rent 2 homes on Pleasant Pond in Bridgeton, Maine. This is 2 homes with hot tubs and a private beach. Our plan will be to enjoy all the amenities that it has to offer. The arcade, the beach, the hot tub, family style meals, etc. This is our last hurrah and the end of their high school days. It is my intention to make their final time with us epic. These kids and I have grown so much together over the last 4 years. These students have never had any issues in group settings at other field trips, which definitely shows some responsibility on their behalf. They also have a good reputation for respecting boundaries and meeting the expectations of their class advisor. And I believe that will continue during Project Grad. Any concerns?
Oh, go ahead, Brad. I didn't know that. I thought you were continuing.
Just waiting for Barb.
Oh, I thought there was more. Any concerns? Okay, go ahead.
It's okay, I fell asleep at the meeting today. Well, first of all, I would say, I was worried that Project Grad, not super worried, but Project Grad is going to be just another boring Project Grad week out. I know in '94 we went to a bowling alley in Lewiston, and that was it. It was boring, dull. So I'm glad to hear you guys are actually getting creative. The only thing I would say, it's safe to say there's adult supervision at this thing, and more than one.
Yes.
I have several chaperones that I've asked so far that would be interested in attending with us.
Okay.
So what are you guys thinking? Would it be like one night then? Is it a couple nights? What's your plan for?
The plan that we have, I actually have some pictures and stuff of the home that we would like to, so if you guys want to check it out and pass it around. It is 38 bedrooms and 8 bathrooms between the 2 houses. One house would be for the boys to sleep in, and the other house would be for the girls to sleep in. But we would all enjoy family-style meals in one home. One home has an extremely large kitchen with several tables and bar space and all of that. There's an arcade in the basement. There's hot tubs. There's just a lot. And going into Project Grad, our biggest thing was like only a handful of kids wanted to do this and only a handful of kids wanted to do that. So I love all of these kids, and I wanted to find something that I could get 75% or more on board with for going to after Project Grad. And I would say I have a good 90% of our class wants to attend and do this. We have I've struggled because like reaching out to people, you know, some people are concerned and like their insurances don't allow events and things like that. So I've been very upfront with anybody who I have contacted on what we want to do. So in theory, what we would do is obviously we'd graduate and then we would head out from here and head to the house. I'm being super secretive when it comes to details about the house of the kids because mostly like their cell phones and Bridgeton isn't all terribly far, right? So I just don't want anybody to know. I mean, obviously the people who need to know will know where we are, but I don't, you know, want to share any other information. We don't need any surprises. We don't need anybody to ruin the fun for us or for anybody in the future who might want to do this. So we have kind of like we arrive and unpack and food and games, and then anybody who is like ready to kind of pass out, you're going to your own houses. Like the boys aren't going to fall asleep on the couch, you're going to be sent home. Like
How far apart are the 2 houses?
Right in the picture, there's an aerial view in the houses. Yeah. There is security cameras all over the property. We would like to do Friday night, enjoy the entire house Saturday, and plan to pack up and come home early Sunday. If
that's not an option. We would at least like to be considered for an overnight and with a late checkout extension, because most places are like a hotel, right? So you gotta leave at 10 o'clock in the morning. And I feel like if we get there late and the kids sleep, then they don't really get to enjoy the pond, and I'm not letting them swim at night because that's too dangerous. So we're gonna hang out in the house and play games and in the houses and play games and stuff. So I have asked both male and female teachers in the high school to attend so that there can be both sexes in the houses. And there hopefully wouldn't be an issue, you know, with a girl being a boy's room or anything like that. So I don't know
What
if
are
you
your
guys
numbers
have.
of kids?
Yeah.
We
How
have
many girls and
roughly
how many boys?
58 students.
How many?
56 is what I was told.
We started with 54 and then we had 4 juniors come up. So we have.
So you're probably looking at like 50-ish.
Yes, roughly, and that's what I have told, the people of the house. We're looking at 50 to 60 people with staff included, yeah.
Okay. And it breaks down boys and girls such that, like, your beds and sizes and stuff, these houses?
Honestly, like, most of our girls want to, like, share beds, so that's not going to be an issue, and if we have to bring air mattresses, that won't be a big deal for us either,
Not appropriate.
but,
Sharing a bed is not appropriate. Doesn't matter if boys or girls, it's not appropriate.
I can't hear what you said.
Sharing a bed is not appropriate, if they're boys or girls. Cannot happen.
so I couldn't share a bed with my daughter.
That's up to you, that's your child. Or girls can't share a bed, boys cannot share a bed.
When they go away to the wrestling meets, they share beds.
They should not be. Absolutely, 100% should not be.
What underlies that assumption?
Huh?
Like, what's the thought process?
Not because
behind
you're
why?
putting yourself at a lawsuit risk if anything was to be said, something happened to one or the other.
You mean the 2 girls in the bed or the 2 boys? in the bed?
Exactly.
I think it's been, I would sort of keep me honest, but I think forever.
Yeah.
That's the thing.
I don't even think that that's allowed per DHS.
For what?
The Department of Human Services.
Well, we have never been told that as a school, and wrestling's been going.
You might want to check it, I'm just saying. There's a reason for that.
I think we could go off the rails and get too concerned, but,
I just, for protection of the child and for yourself.
Yeah, I think I appreciate the creativity. I appreciate finding something that kids are interested in. I would say, like, my concerns really are just making sure that we have enough chaperones so that, like, evenings are appropriate, and like you say, swimming, that kind of stuff, and making sure that, I'm not sure, like, what the insurance like, liability and stuff on the houses are. I know, like, if you're doing it through Airbnb, there's policies and stuff, but just making sure that we're covered that way. Otherwise, honestly, I mean, we've had groups go to camps, we've had groups stay, you know, at other places, so as long as we have enough chaperones,
Isn't it like
and I mean, the
1, 4,
houses,
6 or
I've done, not at Bridgeton, but in the Bethel area, I've stayed at a couple of those really big homes that have 12, 14, 16 bedrooms for weddings.
Yeah.
And I see this as kind of a similar setup, right, that they are,
it is.
like, it's structured to kind of host large
And if you
gatherings.
notice, some of the beds are in a loft area and it is open to the bottom part of the house.
See, but this is where you run into a situation, you cannot be in every room, in every place, at all times, you know.
How many 17-year-olds do we have there?
I'd have to look.
Claire, I don't need the actual number, but
It's like half and half.
we are talking about
Probably
18,
half,
we're
and
talking
like,
about
or-
18, 19-year-old kids as well. So we've got some adults
Right.
where it is a school-sponsored event, but, you know, they're 18 years old, 19 years old, whatever.
What if we got
But I don't
permission?
really want to harp on that.
No, we-
My thought process, question is, do we really have anything to say about whether it's 1 night or 2 nights?
Oh, no.
Like, if they have the money and the chaperones?
We do, we approve how long.
But honestly, I mean, if you guys have the money for it and the chaperones for it, and participation, like the group agrees on it, like I say, my thing has been more on these like just kind of liability type things. So
Yeah.
we need enough chaperones, we need to make sure insurance is covered, like,
I've
we
been
need to make
very
sure
open, like,
safety-
I've labeled us as an event and not just like as a private group and just like a big family coming in, you know what I mean? So like, I want them to know that like, it's sort of an event, right? Like, it's not just.
I'm gonna address that, but Bruce had his hand up first.
Go, Bruce.
I've done 3 sons through the school, and I've done 3 project grads. I've never seen a kid sleep during project grad yet.
Which we're not really expecting, but.
I'm more
It's the
concerned with
second
the
night.
amount of chaperones that you're gonna have there. You are setting up some liability risk with a pond and hot tubs. But let's face it, whether they're in project grad or not, there's always risk for anything. But my concern that it seems to be addressing is the sleeping issue. And like I said, 3 project grads, that never became an issue because no one slept. So I'd be more concerned with other issues that we have. I mean, these 3 camps, I looked at the pictures that you have, the locations, the pond there. My other question is that you're obviously going to be asking for transportation, or are you transporting these students?
No, we will ask
So
for.
if you're asking for transportation, usually we look at whoever's bringing them over, whether we'd be sending 1 or 2 buses. Are we having the buses coming back, or are they spending the night there as well?
I would say from Bridgeton, they would probably come back.
I would say they drop
Especially
them
if it's a 2
off.
So-
Yeah.
Only 2 of them.
I don't know what like all of the policies are, but I was going to consider asking if it would be okay if our bus drivers would be open to also chaperoning to add additional numbers to the 7 that I already have that are for sure. Like not as a paid, like their time to go there is paid how it would typically be paid for any other project grad, and then their hours would be volunteer as chaperones because they are fingerprinted through the district, aren't allowed to be with the children, so I.
Jay,
don't
can
think
they
it would be-
volunteer contractually?
So it says chaperone?
Yeah,
There's nothing against the contract with that.
okay.
I was gonna say, they can volunteer for anything that's not in their job
Job
description.
description.
Like if it was in their job description, they couldn't volunteer.
And they're not going back unless,
But they wouldn't
they're not
have to, right?
driving,
They
but
would
if
be
they're
compelled to do this.
chaperoning the second night, they need to sleep.
Yes,
Because we had that
Yes.
issue before, and that is why we would
Yes.
put the,
which is why we're trying to get additional numbers so that there is time for.
because
Yeah.
that's part of the thing is where the bus driver gets to sleep.
Yeah,
Go ahead, Evelyn.
Yep, so I would compel you to check with Mary, so we can check with insurance. Anytime we've done a school-sponsored event to a pond, we've had to have a licensed lifeguard on
there.
duty. So I don't know what that, Mary's looking at me, she's giving me the head, so, give me a nod. So if we're going to approve using the pond, or if there's a pool, I would,
there is no pool, there are hot tubs, 2 hot tubs, 1 at each house. And obviously the pond. I don't, like, what is the stipulations for a lifeguard? Like, do they just have to be certified? Could it, like, if a student does it during the summer as a summer job, is that safe or not safe?
I wouldn't say it would be a
If they're of
student in the
age?
class that's participating in the activities.
Okay.
But, because I would want somebody on the beach being a lifeguard, that's
Okay.
just being a lifeguard.
Okay,
That was one of my main concerns, because there's been a
Okay.
lot of field trips and stuff where people have drowned.
okay,
And that is, you gotta keep track of heads, and that's very difficult.
yeah,
And my other concern is, I don't know how you work it out, sometimes the Saturday baseball, softball, track has games. And sometimes they go for a night or they go for a day, someone picks them up to go to their activity. So how are you working around that?
I guess I'm not understanding, like.
Not understanding, sometimes
Like-
states track
If you guys
is the
graduate
day
on
after
Friday night, and then there's
graduation.
a baseball game on Saturday.
Sometimes baseball playoff games is the day after graduation.
Okay.
Sometimes softball, because our
Okay.
daughter had to go
Okay.
to Madison. So
Okay.
she came home, went to the game.
Well, so ideally, I would like to be able to have a van in case we have any issues. We don't have to drive a whole bus back here to return a student back to their family, right? Because.
No, usually we have the parent come and get the
Oh,
child.
okay.
They
It's my
work out the
first rodeo, so I don't know,
transportation.
and I am not very informed, so.
Yeah, so, because,
At that point, it would be the parents' responsibility.
yeah, the parents would
Okay.
be
Okay, then that's
involved with that.
equally fine. So, I don't know, I guess, we're in the early stages, like, we have nothing in cement, like, we're just asking if this idea could potentially be approved, like, if this is something that we could do.
You're well ahead of it.
I'm sorry?
You're well ahead of it, so.
Yeah.
Trying.
So how does the board feel? I know we need information about,
With a licensed lifeguard, like, making sure that when we're in compliance with whatever we need to do from an insurance perspective.
And if you have, like, for me, if you have enough guardians that are available in the sleeping area, it's like you had somebody in that room or whatever, and you chose to get parent permission to do that because it's like it's the thing that you guys have been doing, I would feel better about it, but I think you have open doors that you should consider for, but I would feel better about that. Do you know what I'm saying? Like if you had guardians or enough, whatever here.
That one you don't talk.
Yeah, I like that.
Can we get like permission
but it said
slips
if
from
we
parents
had
that kids
Oh.
that are underage can
These
sleep
are
in the
not
same bed? Like, I'm willing to do whatever it takes.
Well, in here.
I guess I'm not.
But I don't
as
think
worried
that.
about that.
because
part.
if
Where
we're
it's
gonna
girls
use
and boys, I'm not like.
Yes.
I mean, my thing is just making sure we have enough chaperones to
Right,
make sure
yeah,
that.
absolutely.
Obviously, that's common sense.
And I don't even know what those numbers look like. I've just like started, like, my first line of people were our senior class
Oh, I'm really.
advisors, teachers, like who they have for homeroom.
Yeah.
So that's where I started, and then I
I mean, if you're talking about 8 or 10 adults for 50 kids,
Yeah.
I feel like that's a pretty comfortable ratio.
Yeah, you have
and-
enough there, but then you got the water to worry about.
Liz,
Anytime that I've ever chaperoned in the past, it's usually been one chaperone for 6 students, something along that line. Now, the question that I might have would be, what has been the protocol for when you've gone to Europe or wherever you've gone and the sleeping arrangements?
they sleep in,
We bunk
boys sleep
together,
in
that's-
trios, doubles.
That's what we're doing next year for Europe is we're bunking, like adults.
Yeah, they adult you.
Adults are 2 per
Because
room, but the kids
singles
are 4
is,
per room. And they're bunking together for obviously girls and boys, but
Right, no.
Yeah.
Yeah. I would think that would be the same type of situation that you would have.
I think I'd like to make a motion
All
that we
right.
approve it.
Yeah.
Approve the trip based on addressing any liability concerns, addressing the chaperone issue, and plenty of other details for you to figure out.
And a lifeguard.
And I would imagine Pam and everybody will,
Do you want to include the transportation?
I think, yes, we should include transportation.
could we call it conditional approval at this
Yeah.
point?
Yes.
Like conditional
Under the
approval.
And then,
Providing that lifeguards are in place,
yep,
chaperones.
Recommendation, by the way, the lifeguard thing, don't have free swim all day long.
Yeah, we.
Set some rules
yeah,
so that the
yeah.
lifeguard,
Yeah.
can breathe and.
Oh, and also,
Yeah.
there's some lifeguards over, I just found out at the University of Farmington that only work part-time because they're college students.
Yeah.
I don't know.
But
about
when you
it.
go to Brian's Pond, they have lifeguards too.
Yeah.
oh, they have,
Right, and they go to Mount Blue in 7th and 8th grade every year too as well,
Yeah.
so.
I agree on the conditional piece.
Yeah.
yes, that's a good, did you get that, Cindy? The conditional part of the motion?
Bruce is good.
I would like to think that they would be coming back with more information.
Correct.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm all on board for doing a conditional, but with understanding that this is not going to fly until we have the rest of the information.
Yeah.
Okay, so I have a motion, do I have a second?
I'll second.
Second, any more comments and questions?
My question is, when will we be asking them to come back? Next board meeting or 1 month from now?
February?
Usually it's actually March, April. so
Usually
they
it's a
come
little bit
around,
closer
right?
to it.
I was gonna say, can I have a little bit more time than that? Like, it has taken me a really long time to get this far, honestly, so.
That's fine, I just,
Okay.
I didn't want to crunch one either.
Yeah,
Can we table the motion to like March?
So this was really just like motion for the concept. Like if you approve the concept of going to this bed Airbnb,
Yeah.
then they will come back with full details, just like we normally have before Project Grad, and then you approve Project Grad. And that way we'll know about transportation at that point and all of that stuff.
And I think like Brad said, okay, you can swim from 10:30 to 4:30 or 5:30.
Right.
You hire a lifeguard.
Right.
So-
yeah.
So I did look up statute, just it would be important to know. So according to the 132nd legislature, which was March 4th of 2025, it does say that, I'll look at the top, that they have to be separated by males and females, and that doesn't say anything about them not sharing a space with them.
Well, it did say they could share a space, and the recommendation was in queen bed.
So it says, this is the only part that's pertinent, it says, during any activity or event authorized by a covered entity in which students share sleeping quarters, a student may not share sleeping quarters with a member of the opposite sex unless they're the individual member's family, such as a parent, guardian, sibling, or grandparent. It does not say that you cannot have two students sharing a bed of the same sex. Yeah,
Okay.
that's just my quick search of it, just
Yeah,
made
and
it.
it also recommended you have parent permission.
Which is
Well,
fine,
they
because there's
signed
plenty of
it.
single
They
beds.
all have parents.
There are plenty of single beds, like if there are parents that would be like, you know what, my kid is sleeping in a single bed, he's not, she is not, they are not allowed to be in a bed with another student, that's fine, I can respect that.
We've always had permission slips for parent grad,
Yeah.
or for project grad,
Yeah.
rather, so I don't think it's any
Well,
different,
they're
like.
Okay.
not sleeping in bed, though, they're going to train.
No, but I mean,
their other staff,
but there's
yeah.
always been a permission
Yeah,
slip
yeah.
that's been signed,
Okay.
so I think this is.
Well, when we went whitewater rafting, they had cabins. They were in the beds, didn't sleep in them. But they were there.
Yeah.
I was 4 o'clock in the morning chasing kids around, they weren't sleeping in the cabins.
No, don't put in and yell at them. Me and Rachel were in the.
2 nights you might get, like that second night, people might crash, but,
Yeah.
you know, I don't know.
Yeah, I think that there's gonna be a crash,
All right,
at some
so
point,
we
somebody's
have
gonna crash.
a conditional motion, a motion on it, a second. All those in favor? Thank you.
Thank
Thanks,
you.
guys.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Are
guys.
you going to let them know when you want to hear back from them?
I think March at the latest, because
Or sooner, if I get
if
this
you get the
information sooner, I will
information,
definitely
yeah,
get
because
back in touch with
if it
Pam.
doesn't fly, you need to get.
Yeah,
You'll have to
absolutely,
regroup if it doesn't fly.
yeah,
And then like once they're there, they stay there too.
yes, of course, yeah, yes.
No, no.
Yeah, I mean, at this point, unless you can't get a lifeguard or something, I think you're probably, we've approved the concept. It's more so just making sure that we get the actual details to it. So, yes, we've got a lifeguard, yes, we have confirmed chaperones, this is what we need for transportation. Like, I mean, that's conceptually, I
And then
think you just approved.
to go
Yeah.
forward.
Okay,
I
thank
think
you.
that we're good with money, I think.
Sounds like fun.
All right,
Thank
are
you.
you gonna
Thank
put
you guys
up
so much.
this
Good luck.
self-evaluation?
We gotta do
Hey, what is
DJR first.
Oh, I skipped ahead though. First reading, changes to policy DJR Federal Procurement Manual. Could I get a motion, please?
So moved.
And a second?
Second.
The policy committee looked at it in, I forgot, September?
A while ago.
Yeah, and Mary was, what'd you say?
I didn't get the first.
First.
Who was the first?
I think I said.
Sorry,
yeah,
Natalie,
right.
didn't hear you.
No.
And then Mary was on vacation, so we wanted to make sure she looked. This is one of the policies that when we had the special ed review, they wanted, and when I went to MSMA, there was a lot of changes in this policy. Pretty much law, how much this, how much that. So any questions or comments on this? This is the first reading. Seeing none, all those in favor? Thank you. Now you can go to self-evaluation
So I just messaged Dan to see if he could put up, project the self-evaluation.
And it's the out loud that I
Didn't do it?
forgot. I usually don't miss it, but I forgot.
Well, I tried to do it on, I did it on an iPad, then it started to be a pain in the neck. Then they needed permission, I wasn't getting it.
I did, but I didn't, I completed it, but I did not write comments on this one.
Neither did I. I was terrible.
He would only have done it.
But I did read the
I
results.
did also, yes.
If you want to send it to this.
Oh, sorry, it's in the agenda.
You click on the blue.
Yeah, when you click on it, I mean, for me, it wouldn't open. It just said it's too small or whatever.
You just have to make your window larger.
You gotta hit the arrow on the top.
See, it is complicated.
Yeah. Right up on the.
Yeah, it is.
100% user
Where?
error.
You see,
Mine says copy.
shine it, send it over here.
When I try to open it.
Don't get turned on this
it's
computer,
small,
Bob.
it says copy.
No, you can, but you screws it up.
Do you want me to share it with you? I can share the
No, I
original.
got it.
How do you do
Yeah,
that?
sit over here.
This is why I couldn't get it going. Couldn't read it at all. I was like, I couldn't do that.
That's a big motor.
How do you
So
do
we
that?
have,
Well, I was not proud of their summer results.
I could do it. It's not a thing for me.
Who? She didn't call me, but she told me.
I just shared it with you in the Google Doc.
I was just gonna put it into
Click.
streaming. Right,
That Tina told me she's on vacation.
I was so, I didn't understand it. Was I supposed to do something?
I ran into her.
Our next meeting is the 27th.
Yes. I'm on my way back. I shouldn't have to. Unless the flight.
Excited.
Turkey.
Yeah,
Woo.
municipal, I've never had it before.
Get a Turkish coffee for me, tell me how it is.
They're not good. So I've been to Turkey before. And I'm not-
Nasty.
Well, because you get all the browns in the bottom, like I can't drink that. Nope.
Bring a coffee filter.
That's a good idea. Then they'll storm you. I'm going to Texas. All right, there we go. Should I read it? Or you read it?
I don't either. I assume everybody's already looked at
I
I
know.
read all the way through
it.
it.
I don't think people need to necessarily read.
Well, we had our plans with vision and goals. We did partially agree.
So we have a strategic plan, we have 2/3 that agree.
And partially agrees. And then we have code of conduct during board meetings. Yeah, we have issues sometimes, not very much.
Again, it was 2/3, 1/3.
Oh, I didn't read.
Must be about Pam. Is that one about Pam? Apparently. it was like-
Policy.
Policy, 100%. Bam, the policy committee. Woo-hoo!
Yeah.
Fiscal and resource management oversight. Curriculum, agreeing partially.
Oh, I'm so glad I get to open this and actually read it.
And then 100%, we have a positive relationship with Pam. And this one, board and community, we have issues, but it's hard to know what to do.
Well,
I was kind of, that was one I was kind of wondering about, like, if there are things within our control on this one that we can do better, or if it's the fact that,
nobody shows up.
you know what I mean? Because I'll be honest, I actually think our
Multiple choices and you have an
visibility
option.
as a board is
Option
probably the best it's been since I've been on a school board, either for 10 or for 56.
Yeah?
Because, I mean, most of the events I've gone to, whether it's sports or music or assemblies, like, I usually see other board members there. And I think, I mean, I don't know, I think we're pretty visible in the community as a group. I mean, if there's concern or questions, it seems like people generally know how to get a hold of members of the board and communicate. So I would agree that it's disappointing sometimes that we don't have more engagement at a meeting unless there's something that is controversial usually. But I do think that as a board, we've got a good conduit, I guess, to the community in terms that we're pretty visible and pretty involved. And that's not the same in a lot of other communities. I think there are a lot of communities where you have a school board and you have like a school population and a community, and they're not as well intertwined as what we are.
I'm curious, can we tell how many people we have watching tonight?
Because I know people do, and then they watch it after.
I was thinking.
Or if we have some sense of what it averages, because I think people have gotten used to watching from a distance. They'll certainly show up here if they have something heavy to complain about.
Yeah, I think staff tend to watch from home.
Yep.
Yeah.
Staff watch from.
That would be good data to know how many, because when we cut it, and we got so many complaints about not having that available, then we put it back, most of it.
I think, I was walking in here tonight, and someone from Turner was walking in front of me, and she said, aren't you guys the school board that has all these problems? Because she asked me what I was doing here, and I'm like, well, school board meeting. And I think we certainly have had some challenges in the past, but I think we have something special here.
I think everyone's going to have to school board because there's another one around here that has a lot more problems.
Now, there's other boards that they're pretty inflamed a lot, and I think we get a good balance here. And I think that the board members are
6
engaged.
people, is that what you're saying? 6 people watching?
I hope it's exciting.
Well, we are getting.
But it's, I'm not sure, like, I wouldn't give up on it, but I don't think, we could beg and beg and beg, and people aren't gonna come sit in those chairs, until we have a controversy.
Yeah.
And, it always stuns me what will bring people in, and what they don't come in for. But I think maybe people think right now, we're not at battle. Maybe it's okay and they don't need to show. I don't know. I think our board does a great job and fair, and there's a great balance here. It's not, I don't look at it as completely one-sided, and that's nice.
Oh, it went up.
They must be telling their
Somebody
friends.
heard you.
Yeah.
But I don't think that's any different than things that go on in the town. I go to the selectmen's meeting and I'm on committees and nobody shows up. We ask, we tell them what's going on, we tell them we need it and all that. And it's the same 3 people. I mean, me and somebody else.
That's been like that
But it's
for
been
Ever,
for a while.
unless,
So it's not
well, at
just-
least in our town, when they come, they're, you know something's wrong.
good shorts.
We have a
And
great big sign.
if they don't come, that's just with the town too. If you don't hear from them, then they're okay. But I think we try.
I think our culture has shifted so substantially in the last 30 years that I think we need to be accessible, and people need to know that every board member in the year can listen and share his opinion and bring issues to the forefront, because that's what we do. And
I think as a board, we do really well.
Yeah.
Working together on committees and
We're active.
There are
We are an
differences, but-
active board member. We don't rubber stamp.
right.
Yeah, oh God, yeah, I don't understand.
No.
Yeah, we work hard to get through the issues.
Except silly policies.
Hey! Well, I don't make up some. I don't
That's
make
right.
up.
This comes from Augusta.
Yeah, some of them. So any other comments? Is there anything we saw we need to really work on?
Somebody mentioned that we should reevaluate, I think in that strategic plan yearly, and I don't know that I disagree, but if we do it, it would be nice if it was more of a workshop than just a, yeah, that looks good.
Doing it before a meeting.
Probably,
Yeah.
because I think there's a lot of great possibilities of things that could come and cause a strategic plan to get adjusted, and we should look at it,
And get input from the staff.
right? Why not? They're the ones that have to carry it out.
All right,
I don't know if you're looking for me for something. It's
No,
on,
well,
it's on here for a reason.
I know,
Because I do
so-
have it so that we review it at least.
Carl?
I would like to ask the superintendent, are you happy with the board? There's really no personal agendas going on.
There you
That's
go.
not a trick question
Are
at
you-
all.
That's not a trick question, Carl, it's a public
Did
question.
you fill it out too, or no?
No, it's a board
Are
stuff.
we
Well,
close to
What are your
contract?
thoughts?
It's already been reviewed for the next 4 years, thank you.
I think if you needed more help anywhere, I think that we would definitely step up as a group and do anything we could to,
I
if
agree.
trouble arose.
So I will answer your question.
Yeah.
I feel like, me, I'm just gonna answer. So, yes, I think the board is relatively easy to work with. And I think that when a situation arises and I email or call a person, they are willing to talk with me and they work on understanding why we do things this way or that way. And I think Rachel, hope you don't mind, I met with Rachel today because she's one of our relatively new board members and she had a number of questions and I'm like, by all means, if you have questions, reach out to me because I would rather work with the board as I work against the board. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like it's a team. It's really important that you understand what's going on in the district and you understand why decisions are made and like where the board's really involved and where that's a superintendent decision because it's for policy and everything that's my area. So I've always found people, if I call them or message them, they're willing to talk and to me, that's the biggest key. Like, not undermining. I don't come to board meetings and there's big surprises that I'll put in my lap to gotcha moments or that kind of thing. So I feel like we have a good working relationship.
Anything about any of the other questions?
And I think we have a great chair who's very knowledgeable, and I would hate to see it change that.
It's funny, I had to interview the capstone, what's the name?
Capstone.
And they want to, about our requirement at the high school for community service. I said, well, I'm the old person here, so I have to tell you what it was, what it evolved to, what it's trying to go back. So it's like, well, I'm the old person here. Gosh, who turned 65 and now is back here, woo-hoo. So, and as far as the curriculum, I think we really have a lot of involvement in say, and the committee. And there was one thing we went over drug and alcohol, and I do not know what we do for that anymore, which is curriculum, so I'll ask Jason, but, we want to move on to the
So I'm going to make a recommendation.
That we do it
on what
before
Brad
and
just
say-
said, that maybe we put this on hold and between now and January 27th, you all take a really deep dive looking at it and then we have it more like a conversation workshop as opposed to just a review.
and have it like a half hour before.
I'll put it during you can do it during I'll just kind of keep everything else lean, but I think we want to do it during this open
All right,
board time.
because my brain fries after a certain stage.
Should we push it out to the beginning of February?
We can, and that'd be perfect, because I do think it's important to go
Yeah.
through our strategic plan as we're getting ready to go into budget, because they go hand in hand. If they don't, then we have a problem.
Just push it out to the,
February.
So I'll push it out to the first meeting in February.
Is that the 10th?
I can tell you.
Well, I meant we set up
Yes, it is,
policy
February
again,
10th.
that's why, okay. That's, what do you guys think, consensus? Thank you.
I
Okay.
will send comments.
Comments.
I recognize I can't participate on Zoom, but I'll be sitting in a hotel room, so I can at least
Okay,
maybe text
yep.
comments or something.
Yeah, alrighty. Board member comments. Comment, I forgot. Oh, capstone. The kids were so polite, 2 girls, 2 boys. It was like so prepared. So it was great. It was wonderful and I was really impressed.
So if you're willing to be interviewed for capstone projects, just let Jason know, because then they can let the teachers know. And the kids can pick different people, but they like to, like, look at different policies and they, why does this happen and why does that happen? So one of them wanted to talk to me about dress code, and they're like, I'm like, this is our new policy, and they're like, oh, I didn't even know that. So it's just really fun to talk with them, interact, and then because they changed their questions, or because when they saw the new policy, they were like, let me just think for a minute what I want to ask instead of that one. So it's just really kind of fun to interact with them.
And then Thursday, an extra lunch. So I don't know what that entails, but the poor kid didn't tell me who he was or anything. I go, I'm assuming this is a capstone kid. All right, so at board member comments. Trying to think what's been going on.
Lots of sports, lots of kiddos involved in things. So kudos to having a pet band again. That's been kind of fun to come to events and actually have the pet band going. Yeah, it seems like it's January, but there's a lot going on. You feel like sometimes you get back from Christmas and it should be a lull, but nope.
Any other board member comments? Yes,
I so appreciate you, Barbara, and your history with the policy committee. I think it's great.
Thank you. Well, it took a lot of years. Yeah, and like I was talking to Jay about it, you have a policy, you don't follow it, why do we have it? Because that's how I worked out, so thank you. All right, time for you.
So, Bruce is already read them. He just said, I'm watching you type in your notes. I'm like, usually I do that in advance, but I didn't. So, obviously, Mary and I and all the administrators are working on budget. I will provide a budget process overview at the next board meeting that just kind of outlines how we work through the budget process. I'll also try to give you some pros and cons going into this budget that we know in advance, some good things and some things that are challenging. I'm out of the district this Thursday and this Friday. Thursday, I'm attending the winter meeting of the Maine School Superintendents Association. It's actually a 2-day event, Thursday and Friday. I signed up for both, but then the New England Association of School Superintendents put their planning meeting on Friday, and I serve on the New England Association of School Superintendents as the main rep. So I'll be going to New Hampshire on Friday to work on our planning meeting for next year. I typically like to give a shout out to a staff member or two. I have been able to be in all of the buildings, and again, I just am really impressed with how our teachers come back from vacation and just like jump in and their teaching and learning is going on. But today I want to say Katie Coyne and Kayla Colon, they're both teachers at the elementary school. I spent a day there and I was walking around, and they were during their prep planning time, and when I walked by their room, I just like said hi, and they're like, hey, Pam, hi, and then they started talking, and they just literally drew me into a conversation during their prep time. Like, they didn't need to have an administrator walking in at that time, and I just walked away from there feeling like we have not just good teachers, we have good people, like really good people. So I came back and I sent them a little message just saying how happy I was that they just included me, like drew me in and included me. And so that brings me to the reminder that Cindy always has some postcards.
I need some.
So if you go into a class or you go to an event and you see a staff member doing something above and beyond, feel free to write one out, because we will get to them, and it does.
We get it back to an
Yeah,
office.
you just send it back to me, and we can either put it inter-office mail, or we can mail it out to whatever you want to do with it. So. And with that, I'll invite Mary to do her report.
Because there was two. Okay, I was going to send one to alumni who's sitting in there doing 50-50 for me, David Sears.
Yeah.
And then Hal Watson made Chuck Sully out of wrestling me, our sub class teacher.
Yeah, get him written, we'll get
All
it.
right, thank you.
All right, Mary, it's yours.
Thanks. So the audit for fiscal year 23-24 should be complete very soon. And I know I've talked about that 23-24 audit a couple of times when I've been here, but it is in the final stage of peer review at the auditing firm Runyon, Kirsten, and Willett. So it really is being wrapped up. The preliminary work for the 24-25 audit was completed in June of 25, and I'll be working with the auditors next week to provide the rest of the information that they need. The auditors are going to be working remotely next week, so I'll be uploading documents to their secure portal. And I'll provide both audit reports to all of you on the board once they're available. And along with the audit, Cindy and I will be completing our year-end work this month. We'll have to print out the 1099s and W-2s and distribute them. We've both attended webinars with Harris, which is the company that provides our apt-to-fund software, so that we could have a refresher on these tasks that when you do them only once a year, it's easy to forget in between how to do it. And Cindy and I are also still participating in the Zoom meetings with Harris and other apt-to-fund users. Those meetings happen twice a month, and it's just nice to be able to talk to other central office staff who are also maybe having the same problems we are, or figured out a problem or a solution to a problem we might be having. And so we're very pleased that Harris is allowing these user meetings to happen, because it's good to know that we aren't the only ones struggling. That's all I have, unless there's any questions.
Thank you, Mary. You want to finish your report?
Sure. We had the resignation of Sonia Audrey Ropre. She was a 21st century activity lead at the elementary school. We also had Barbara Vaughn, who is the Derigo Elementary School head custodian, submitted her official notice of retiring on August 5th, 2020. And then I'm wondering if we could do the first,
Oh, we got to do the
first
first
one
one.
short.
Yeah.
I'd like to do that because I see that we have the second one ready.
Yeah.
So I'd like to not hold them too long. So if we could do the first one, then we'll
Okay.
finish up.
That's a quick question.
Yep.
On the resignation for the head custodian, is that going to be conflicting for us to hire someone for her, since we're looking at already starting into a new budgetary season? I mean, usually you end up June 30th. Is that going to be any issues with her retiring August 5th?
It won't be. We'll just budget for that position. And all of the, if I recall, all of the head custodians get the same amount. There's no like differentiate for time here or any of that stuff. We condensed all of that when we negotiated last time.
Okay.
Mary might have to add in a little more for the family insurance if we don't know by the time, because we're not gonna know by the time we do budget, instead of just, you know, 2 adults or whatever. But we'll make sure it's budgeted for.
Thank you.
Okay, so I'm going to skip to executive session, the first one. Enter into executive session pursuant to 1 MRSA subsection F for discussion of information contained in records made, maintained, or received by a body or agency when accessed by the general public to these records is prohibited by statute. Could I get a motion, please? And a second? Second. All those in favor? Okay, we'll give a minute for everyone to clear, except Kim. And then I'm gonna go tell them. They're not coming. They can order the correct. Policy we did do today, we did,
You can let them, they're all set.
they're all set, and I
Let
did
them know.
restraints, and there's new laws, seclusion, pretty much law. We tabled the temperature because Pam's group is going to try to get a general consensus on what temperatures are adaptable.
It's the Western Maine Superintendents. I don't have like a.
I forgot the name of the group. What else did we did go over the drug and alcohol and drug. We have little revisions, and we discussed the procedures. And then I forgot one, so we tabled that. Finance?
We met.
I got two.
Bruce was there. Liz was there.
I got tutored today.
Barbara
I was there,
Mary.
Mary was
and
there.
Miss Mary.
And it was a good meeting. It lasted about an hour. Mary already touched on the audits, how we had extensions because we switched to the APTA-Fund accounting software from, I don't know what the other one was called. And then another thing that threw a wrench into the mix was the retirement of the last business.
Kathy.
What is your, what's your title?
Payroll
Business-
HR.
Payroll executive or whatever.
Payroll HR specialist.
And actually, RKL is having trouble finding school accountants. That's a big surprise. So that's supposed to be done here pretty soon. Then we talked about our, where we are. We're halfway through the year, and we talked about our revenue. We were 47% of our anticipated revenue, which is pretty close to half of it for half the year. We talked about like the buses in Title I, and on expenses, we were 54% of our expenses are remaining, so we're pretty close. Special ed was lagging behind, was ahead at 59% of, we've already spent 59% of their money in the budget when I'm talking about these percentages.
Actually, just the opposite. They have
50,
59%.
they have 59
remaining.
left, my bad, my
We
bad.
have 54% remaining, special ed in particular has 59%.
So we talked about next year's budget some, and it's gonna be tight. We heard grumblings from the town of Dixfield a little bit, and we're hoping things go out, and we're hoping there's not a big stink about it. We're gonna lose some of our grant money for our SRO and our ELO teachers. So we don't wanna lose them, and we talked about how important they were, especially our SRO that we just got a new one, and how he will go to the home and visit a kid, like whatever. So we're gonna have to be creative. The biggest thing we talked about that was the biggest shock in the whole meeting was the lack of teachers we have. We can't cut any more teachers because we can't offer anything. I don't know, we can't offer any like advanced art or poetry, or we just don't have, we can't offer Chinese or Russian. We don't have any special teachers. So these kids, they can graduate in 3 years if they do it right. If they figure it out, don't tell them.
Four.
So we're trying to pick, as far as credits, like it's great if they could go to Region 9 and get it if we required a Region 9 credit, but they'd have to have the ability to accept them and the facilities to teach them something. So we really can't when we have budget problems, we just can't cut teachers anymore. We're gonna have to do something creative. We talked about our carryover, which is it's $277,000 that we try to save each year, and we have to keep aware of that. There are some grants that we have received, and that helped out pretty good. So we talked about our capital reserve. And we don't really need, like our bus garage is done, there's no capital reserve money there, the roof's done. The next big expense would be the AC in the middle school to get, we have AC here, we have AC in the elementary school. The middle school doesn't have AC. That could be costly, so we'd be thinking about that for maybe some of our reserve. We'd have to go to the towns, get voter approval for that. Mary said if anybody's on the plan of this place, that the dental plan, Bruce, we talked about that a little bit, and the old dental plan was just as good as the Delta dental plan. The name of that plan was the Advocate. And what was it? Patient Advocates. Thanks, Bruce. So anyway, I guess that's it. Bottom line is, we got it.
Carl?
Yeah.
Insurance?
Oh, insurance? Yeah, we're on a five-year plan with Maine School Management Association. We switched from them from a local, it was Kai's, I don't know who wrote that policy. We have to put it out to bid every 5 years. We have to notice. So there's one more year left in our contract since we switched. When they were courting us, when they had us on the front porch in the swing, they were gonna do this and that. And the next year, as Brad's in the insurance business, the premiums went up. It'd be like getting blood out of a stone to get a check or make a claim. And so, but for the simplicity of everything and just kind of sail along smoothly, the premiums shouldn't go up, I don't believe, for the actual structures of the buildings and everything. We're gonna ride it out with MSA one more year, and then we'll actively seek bids on the next contract, which is 20.
So I already gave them notice that we would be going out to bid for March of 2027.
Yeah,
You gotta
2027.
give them a year in
They have
advance.
to give them a year notice.
That's a lot. But the problem is, nobody ever bids, right?
Last time we had 2 bids, and we have compared, like, yes, their premiums went up in year 2 and year 3, but we also checked in with guys, and theirs also went up. So, and they were significantly less when we started, so it was still, like, I think it was the right choice at the time. I just think we should go back out in March of 2027.
These plans need to know that you're willing to shop based on whatever agreement you have, but if they think it's just gonna roll, there's not a lot of initiative to change. And they do have room to customize plans. Things have gone up, there's no question.
But like I talked about the SRO and the ELO, those were ESSER funds from the COVID backlash, and those are gone. So they were picking up the tab for them, now we got to.
Grant.
Well, they have
They
to
were
know
grants,
what's-
they weren't ESSER, so they were grants, both of them were grants.
All right, they weren't the S, no.
But either
There was
way, we're at the
something-
tail end of both of them.
They both end at the end of September 2026.
And on a good note, I guess the elementary school, the debt service will be paid off November of '27,
Yeah.
but that's all federal, state, we're
Not
not,
much on it.
the local share of that is minimal, but there'll be some savings. And there's a nice report, I think everyone got it emailed.
I shared it with everybody.
Yeah, I suggest reading it twice, but like I said, be thinking about we can't cut any teachers. We got no electives to offer, we got nobody to do
Still
it.
need things.
Yeah.
Well, I know Dixville's gonna be having a special meeting next week, is it?
Yes.
On the Common Road. That's a $10 million project. It's got to be done.
So, thank you, Carl. Curriculum,
Yeah,
you have a meeting?
Yeah, I'm gonna expound on what Carl said about electives.
Yeah.
The admin team has made it very clear that there's lots of kids that are spending time, I want to get this on the record too, that there's lots of kids that are spending their time in study halls essentially. And sure, they could leave early. Most families in children aren't prepared for that. That's not how we've built our structure and culture. But we're trying to look at some creative ways, I won't go into all the details right now, to offer electives. and I don't want to foreshadow budget, but I think this board would do really well when we can, when it makes sense, to go on the offense, so to speak, and talk to the community about the kind of education that they want to have here. One of their biggest complaints, amongst other things, is, you know, like, what are we teaching our kids? What hands-on things can they do? What can they do? We did that survey a couple of years ago, and I want my children, 140 people essentially said, I want my children to be able to do things when they leave. And we've cut positions, and, you know, Pam, how many is that? We talked the other day. Is that?
Well, we have gone from 4 content area teachers to 2.5 in each ELA, math, science, and social studies at the high school. And actually ELA is 2.25 because that person also teaches GT in the other buildings. So we've reduced a lot, and we've lost, you know, obviously we lost home ec, we've lost industrial arts, we've lost a French teacher. So there's probably, I could probably come up with 10 or 12 positions just at the high school alone, say nothing about other.
Like Karen Fair used to teach all of them.
It's one of those things where we can complain all day long about the quality of the education. Our kids aren't learning enough, and I think just out in the world, somebody's saying the kids aren't learning enough. And there's a budget reality, and the community says we're not paying it. You cut it until they're willing to approve the budget. And I think that I'm not a big budget guy. I'm not real strong on that, but I would challenge anybody to come in, dig into the budget, and find out where all the padded budgets are. And we've talked enough about this. So I would say the community, if anybody's listening tonight, there was 8 people earlier, just be prepared to spend a little bit more money on the quality of the education. It's not about teachers' positions and like stacking tons of teachers' positions. It's about what do you want your babies to leave here being able to do. And so on curriculum, we're trying to focus on that. And then also there's some thoughtful people trying to get creative with how we can offer more opportunity. So that's it.
Real quick, is there any room for expansion? And like, we do life skills, is that required as a credit?
It's still required, but it's so evolved to,
I mean, is there any room to require more life skills, which wouldn't be that hard, you know?
because different people, I don't even know, I mean, one person teaches it this, one teaches that, person teaches the other part. So it's kind of, and when we changed the policy, updated the credits, there was a couple things that Kaylin said, I need to get back to you, I need to see, to evolve it, to change it, to be, what's the word? What is it? When we don't know what it is now, I know what it used to be, but what is it now?
Life
And
skills
she
are
was
either-
I know what
like
it used to be, it's
Cougar
still
time.
relevant today, because sewing a button or being able to feed yourself a quality meal is still relevant. So I almost think that we could really make it anything we want it to be, as long as it fits within law, right?
Yeah.
Within the learning standards. We can make it whatever we want it to be, is are we willing, do we have the room to do it? And do we have the will to pay for the necessary bodies? And I would imagine that our educators here are all fired up about providing opportunity and whatever. And as a board, if we can talk to our community and get them to understand that what they're asking for, they've got to pay for it. And even in then, we'd be frugal doing it. So I come all for that stuff. I think it's great.
Bill, you all good?
Yeah, yeah,
Bill?
yeah.
All right, buildings and grounds,
Have not met.
negotiations have not met, personnel,
It's not bad.
ad hoc, I know.
We did meet.
Yes, we
We
did.
did we do a report?
I think we did.
I can't remember. We met and we agreed to keep doing things. There was some discussion, just real quick, there was this discussion around whether we're gonna collect survey data. We had some of our members, the teachers who are really the hands-on folks of the civil rights team said, we still like to do our survey. basically find out, what are the kids talking about, what are they saying? So we're gonna continue to do that. We had some really great discussion around, what is actually being talked about in these groups. We've had some really good attendance at middle school. We had a middle school that had really good attendance as far as the children getting involved.
Yeah.
Sorry, I got.
Yeah, I think so.
We're carrying on, and I think everybody's trying to just take a down to earth, realistic approach to it. Which from a right ad hoc is for the Civil Rights Committee in the school, so that's it.
Dropout prevention, they have a date.
Yep. We do.
Okay, technology, no date. Can I have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
And second, all those in favor? Good night. Next Tuesday, right?
Next Tuesday.